Alright guys, so I'm gonna kill two birds with one stone and drive to a work block location that's a little bit further away just so I can record this YouTube video. What I want to talk about today, two things. The fact you're probably dieting in reverse, and I want to talk about designing your environment for success. So, as you'll know from previous videos, I'm entering a deficit, quite an aggressive one, quite a quick one. The plan is to be in and out in about 4 weeks, okay? So finish up at the end of August, which will line me up with moving to Poland, hopefully at the start of September. We just sent off an inquiry about an apartment. Perfect. The apartment is perfect. It's not the one I had planned to move into initially, but it's all part of designing the environment, which I'll get onto in a second. But typically when we think of a deficit, it's start in a bit of a small deficit and then work your way back. Work the calories down. Idea being, we sit at a 300, 500 calorie deficit, and each time scale weight stalls, we take away more food. And the flaw there is, what's happening the further you go on and the deeper you get into a deficit? You become less fat. If somebody is less fat, what do they need? But what do they gain the right to do? Move further away from a deficit, right? If you're leaner, you can eat more food. It's probably not the best to describe it, but if you're fatter, you need to eat less food, right? You're in a bigger need of a deficit. But if you're leaner, you're in less need of a deficit, okay? I'm not saying that, if you're fat, you don't deserve food. Nobody twist my words, that is not what I'm saying. We should utilize the position we are in to our advantage. So, if we're not experiencing any major pain, we don't have any injuries, our habits are spot on, we're not stressed, we're just ready to dig in. Let's not do this 300 calorie deficit nonsense. Let's just plunge right in. Big deficit. Motivation is high. We are in a better position to lose fat because we are fatter. Let's see how long we can stick those calories. And then as the deficit continues, we can, if things go well, we can continue, or we can start to bring food up very slowly, because we jumped into a big deficit, we are technically still in a deficit. So say you jump into like 1,000 calorie deficit and you bring food up by 300 calories, you're still in a 700 calorie deficit. Quick maths. I hope that's right. I'm so bad at maths. But that's the framework I want you to approach. A lot of people stall because they don't see the results straight away because they're not in a big enough of a deficit. And they get frustrated, and then it just gets harder. But the main thing I want you to focus on is mentally. Imagine you, put it this way, okay? Mentally, you're starting with the smallest amount of food you will have, and you are the fattest you will be. However, you know that there is more food on the way, which is especially comforting if you're in an aggressive deficit. So we are getting the visual reward, we're getting the result of becoming leaner, but we are also getting more food. And as we get leaner, as we look better, our food will come back up. So it's a win-win. At some stage I will make a longer video on that, but I just wanted to reframe how you're approaching this deficit, and that's what I'm doing. As I mentioned before, my habits were all over the place. Things went a little downhill with stress, etc. and I needed to pull my shit together. And I might contradict myself there because I said, you know, you shouldn't start in a small deficit. But I started in a small deficit just to restabilize my habits, okay? Make sure I was mentally ready to go into that deficit, and I did it for a week. I had a fat day on Saturday because it was my friend's birthday. But other than that, we got straight back on the ball on Sunday, and it proved to me that we were ready to go. So, very bloated because we had a night out. We were eating like crap, so scale weight was way higher than what it actually would be normally. We were hovering high 72s. This morning we were 71 kilo on the dot. Now, I think to get into, heading into Poland, I want to be in the best shape I've ever been in. So I think I'll need to be about 68 kilo, which will be very hard to get down to. Last leanest that I got there was 68.6, and I know it's scale weight, is only scale weight, but we'll just use the metric to make this video easier. So if I get down to 60, I think I will look amazing. But that's going to take a big deficit. So I'll say past couple of weeks I was probably averaging low 3000s, maybe more. Wasn't tracking properly, etc. Things were all over the place. I'm in the training day now, 2000, and then rest day, nice and low, 1600. If you're designing your, oh dear. I have a special talent for almost crashing on camera. A good rule of thumb, if you're designing like your day of eating, is just take away your pre-workout meal. Eat the same on your rest day, but just take out your pre-workout meal and then make a few changes to level out the carbs and the fats. And with you taking that pre-workout meal, you might lose a little bit of fiber. Again, it won't be a lot because your pre-workout meal should have quite low fiber. But the less calories we have to work with, the bigger dent it leaves. Okay, so you might want to bring up your carb sources or fiber sources in the rest day, but that's only in the rest day meals. But that's the only real change I would make. I think that's pretty much it. Don't want to over-explain because I'm working at the moment. I'm working on not doing that, and I just did it. Anyway, when we're talking about designing our environment, you need to, if we're talking from like the entrepreneurial standpoint or just business owner, you need your workplace, as stupid as it sounds, when you're there, your brain needs to know you're working. So this is why people often recommend not working in the same room you sleep in. Obviously with like smaller apartments, etc., this is unavoidable. But if you have your own place, or if you have the possibility of working in a coffee shop, I would recommend that. Now, the apartment I'm going to again contradict myself. The apartment I want to move into, guys, I'm going to have to open my window here because I've no aircon, I'm wearing a hoodie, and it is 25 degrees. I do not believe that. The apartment I want to move into, the desk is beside the bedroom. However, it overlooks the Warsaw city centre, and it's just beautiful. It has a balcony. It's exactly what I wanted. Spend my chill mornings, evenings there. Chill to me, I was obviously working, but evenings we will have a wind down routine. I've started to incorporate that just to ensure the quality of my work. I focus on quality of work instead of quantity. We're not just working for the sake of working, we're actually having something tangible to show for it. But make sure that your space is it's clean, it's neat, it's organised. If you're a PT, this might be training in a different gym to the one you work at. It may be only turning on your TV once your workday is done, so your brain knows, okay, that's switch off time. Some people like to have the TV on as background noise when they're working on the sofa. But then what if you work, if you're finally able to switch off, and your brain is like, oh, well, I also sit here and also have this TV on when I'm working, so I can't turn off because I think I need to work. Be very polar in that sense. I sit here to relax, or I do X activity, or I'm in X place to relax, and I'm in X place doing X activity to work. I hope that makes sense. Let's speed up a little bit because this lorry is very loud. I might do it. I keep talking about why I'm moving to Poland, as in I keep talking about making a video about that. I don't want to talk about it now because it'll be a long rant, but it's something I've wanted to do for a very long time. It's my dream, just to be back home with family. I have a little family in Warsaw, but my dad's side of the family would all live together in a small town, and that's where I want to die, if that makes sense. Not to make it sound deep, but yeah, guys, I'm just excited. I'm nervous, I'm scared, but we'll chat more about that. Just gotta work as hard as we can. We're on our way to Applegreen, as I said, to make another upgrade to our mentorship service, introducing the idea of webinar / group calls. We're gathering a bit of feedback and ideas from the guys at the moment, and then we're going to sit down and figure out how to host that. And then it'll be about an hour of replies in the mentorship and to coaching clients. Then I have to lift them up somewhere, and we await the response from that landlord. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching if you made it this far. If you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram, email me, I'll drop that below. And if you want to work with me, either for coaching or on a mentorship basis, or maybe coaching and mentorship, the link to my website is below. Thanks for watching again, and enjoy the rest of your day.